Guys, what is good? Welcome to another episode of Sample Shopping. This, of course, is sponsored by my best fragrant friend Adriana over at Decant Shop. She is keeping you guys laced with the latest, illest, all different types of fragrances for decants and samples. You can get niche, discontinued, designer, original reformulations, whatever you want. You can get them and use that coupon code MAX12. It's going to save you 12% of your entire order. All four fragrances we're going to talk about today are all available at Decant Shop. Forget all those other places to get your samples from. This is the best bar none. If you want what you pay for, you want to get them quickly, you want the best customer service, and you want to get exactly what you pay for. These are poured before they're poured into your bottles, so you're getting the exact amount you ordered. Other decanters don't do that. I will say no more. Let's get into the video. We're going to start this week off with one from the house of Andy Tower. This one is called Orange Star, and I'll be honest, now that he has introduced his flash fragrances for like $65, the original line for me is looking a little bit less appealing. From that flash line, I own Amber and Incense Flash. Actually, now that I'm filming this, I also ordered, I don't have it yet, I blind bought Fruit Chuli Flash. So I have those three. From the regular line, I have L'air du Desert, Marrakein, and Rose Kandahar. I'd also like to get Lone Star Memories, and I will get Rose and Vanilla Flash. This one is Orange Star. It was released in 2010. Top notes: fresh oranges and clementines, orange blossom and lemongrass make up the middle, ambergris, tonka bean, and vanilla make up the base. A 50 ml of this one will run you about $135. And guys, this one's really easy to dissect for me. Now, I'm very confused by this one because for me, there's no incense in the makeup. I know there's ambergris, tonka bean, and vanilla. This feels like to me, think about it like this. I know this is gonna sound crazy. You're eating orange pez in church. Like, that's as simple as it is. It opens up with like a chalky orange note, and as it goes on, the orange falls less and less, becomes less and less prominent, and it's like an orange incense. I think it's really good. Is it my cup of tea? No. If someone offered this to me, if I could find it super cheap, I'd probably buy it just because I love Tower and I love when he fucks around with incense. I don't know if it's like something I'd love to wear, but I just feel like the quality is superb. It's kind of an offbeat scent. You kind of have to like the idea of this one to really enjoy this one. I think it's really good though. It gets a lot of hate on Fragrantica. I don't really get that. I can see why people don't like it, but I think it's like a chalky orange incense, and it's got that Tower quality. So I actually do like this one quite a bit. The next one we're going to take a look at is from the house of Roja Dove, and this one is called Enslaved. This one goes back to 2007. My feelings are well known on Roja. Super good quality house. Will not for 1 second question the quality, but the question I ask is, are these worth it? And the more I explore perfume, the more I appreciate value. That's not to say if there's not something totally unique that it's not worth big bucks, but I'm not sure if I'm sold on this house yet. I feel I smelled like 10 cents from this house, not the hugest sample size in the world, and so far only one really blew me away, which was Amber Extrait, which I did buy. I'd like to get Amber Oud. Still on the fence with that one with the huge price tag. This one also pricey, a 50 ml. This one is $480 at Oswald. And note-wise, we get bergamot, lime, lemon, and lavender at the top, carnation, jasmine, lang lang, rose, geranium, and orange blossom in the middle, labdanum, amber, patchouli, musk, oak moss, cedar, and vetiver in the base. Smells like an old school perfume. This smells like some shit again, like Greta Garbo would be wearing, Ingrid Bergman. Really good quality. What do I get? I get citrus, florals, or resins. And I know that's like a cop-out, but these are usually so perfectly blended that nothing really sticks out. It's just this really nice smelling scent that reminds me of like hugging a woman with a fur coat in the 1950s on Park Avenue, you know, like, it's just that to me. It's super clean. The quality is really good. I would never recommend anyone pay $500 for this. I think if you do that, you know, maybe you should really seriously think about checking in with a therapist. But I don't know. I've paid, you know, a lot of money for fragrances, so I don't know. I can't give you a great read on this one. I think it smells really good. I don't know if I get it. And maybe that says more about me than the fragrance, but that's what it is. Next up, we're going to look at one from the House of Tom Ford, guys. This one is Amber Absolute. Now, this is one that people love. It is a rock star in the community. It is Axl Rose, and when it got discontinued, people went noodles, hoarding bottles, and then it was re-released. And to me, the re-release in this one smells so similar that I don't want to get into a reformulation discussion here. If you watch Fragrance Bros, my man Daver did such a good video on the subject, and I'm not saying that because he quoted me, but he just sort of expressed my feelings, you know, without me and him even having a conversation. And basically, that's reformulations are part of life, and if a fragrance drastically changes and you love it to death, I could see going out there and hoarding it, like if that's your one signature scent or something. But if you're like me and have hundreds of bottles, there's so many good options out there, and I have original formulations and reforms, and for me, and this is just me, usually the scents aren't heavily altered. Their performance is often stripped down. It's well known Fahrenheit's my favorite fragrance of all time. I would love a vintage bottle, but I'm perfectly fine with a reform. And this is a scent I've gone through 12 bottles of. You know, I started wearing it in 92 or 93, so it is what it is. Everyone has an opinion, so that's mine. And if yours differs, that's cool. You know, obviously I'm not the master in any of this. We all our opinions are equal as far as I'm concerned. Amber Absolute came out in 2007 in the Private Blend line, and this is when Private Line was not fucking around. It wasn't some Aqua de Parma Blue Line bullshit. They were releasing hard hitters: Black Violet, Japan Noir, Noir de Noir, Moss Brush, Tobacco Vanille, Tuscan Leather, Oud Wood. This was the Tom Ford Golden Era, and I'd love to see some of those be re-released, like Moss Brush, Black Violet, and Japan Noir. Amber Absolute was re-released. And notes on this, we get amber, incense, vanilla, labdanum, and woods. Typical Tom Ford pricing: $220 for the 50 ml, $300 for the 100 ml, $530 for the flacon. Guys, this is a great, not a good, it's a great amber fragrance, but you don't need to pay this much money to get this. You can take a look at Amber Sultan by Serge Lutton, or we just talked about Andy Tower. Take a look at Amber Flash, because for me, they're both pretty close to this one, and they're both under $100. Guys, this one's excellent. There's no doubt about it. This to me is just a hardcore, very resinous amber fragrance. The vanilla, right? Amber, we know what amber is. Amber is really a blend of vanilla and resin. And the more vanilla you get, the more gourmand, sort of sweeter fragrance you have, and the more resin, the more hardcore, almost animalic fragrance you have. And this is that. This is the more hardcore. The resins are just dialed up here. It almost smells like sticky rocks. It's beautiful. It's just really well done. It is a great fragrance. If money's not an option, it's one of the better ambers out there. For my money, guys, I prefer Amber Rousse for a hardcore amber by Parfum d'Empire, but I could totally see wanting this one. It's like your hardcore amber. It's just superb in terms of quality. Next up, guys, we're gonna finish up with the newest regular release for men from the Tom Ford line. This is Noir Extreme. I know they recently released a newer flanker to Black Orchid. I think it's called Orchid Solio, but this is the latest from the line that you can grab in Sephora or department stores, minus Noir Extreme Parfum, which also was recently released. Total from this house, I got 3. You know, I have Plum Japanois, Oud Wood, and Black Orchid. What would I still like? I would like to get the original Noir, I'd like Sahara Noir, which I think is discontinued now. I'd like Tom Ford Extreme, and I think I'd be done at that point. And I want this one too, because this one is fucking awesome. This one came out in 2015. Note-wise, you get mandarin orange, neroli, saffron, nutmeg, and cardamom at the top. In the middle, you get mastic, rose, jasmine, orange blossom, and kufi, which I think is like a pistachio sort of ice cream in the Middle East. Those are the middle notes, and woods, sandalwood, amber, and vanilla in the base. You can already find these at discounters, so you're going to pay around $85 to $90 for a 50 ml, maybe cheaper, maybe like $80, and around $100 for the 100 ml. This is gorgeous. Oh man, whoa, sweet, gourmand, resinous. So what I think this is like, and I know I'm going to get, people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. There's a fragrance called Fusion Sacré Louis by Majda Bakali, and that's a gourmand sort of caramel fragrance with celery and incense notes, and that, I think that sort of turns people off. But if you strip the celery out and you just pull down the incense a bit, this is sort of what I think you'd be left with, which is this beautiful caramel, vanilla-y fragrance with a little bit of incense and a little bit of herbal tones. I think the mastic brings out that herbalness, but it's just not, it's not as green, and doesn't have as much incense as Fusion Sacré Louis, but it is just gorgeous. If it performed a little bit better, because performance is a little weak, this would, I personally, guys, I think they could have charged Private Blend money for this one. That's just me. This is a great fragrance. Check this one out. So, guys, if I'm ranking these, yeah, you can bet Noir Extreme would be number one. I think I'd go Amber Absolute 2, Orange Star 3, and Enslaved 4. Would I purchase any of these? I will purchase Noir Extreme. I will probably hold off on the rest. I could see why you would want to own either Orange Star or Amber Absolute. And if you live in the 60s and you're a hot woman and you're trying to get Humphrey Bogart to fuck you, I could see why you'd want to wear Enslaved, I guess. So, guys, that is this week's episode. Next week, we'll take a look at one. I think we're doing 5 next week? No, we're doing 4. We're looking at one from the House of Montal. We're going to look at one from the House of Giorgio Armani. No, we're doing 5. One from the House of Montal, one from the House of Giorgio Armani, one from the House of Lacoste, one from the House of Smell Ben, and we'll finish up next week with one from the House of Armaf. So a really different sort of lineup for you guys. Montal, Giorgio Armani, Smell Ben, Lacoste, and Armaf. Guys, these are all possible because of decantshop.com. So I need you guys to go to that site and use that coupon code MAX12. That's the only way we can promise you keep getting these crack cocaine videos. MAX12, decantshop.com. See you guys all again later this week with more videos. Guys, you already know what it is. My name is Maximilian.
Man, you stupid, man. I love the way you flowing. Riding in my drop, but I don't know where I'm going. On 285, I keep riding in the sofa. The inside